So at what point in time did you? Because obviously there was the YBN split. Cordae dropped the YBN from his name. Everyone's still cool, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's still kosher. But like you kind of just dove in with Cordae. So what was like the like obviously Cordae's fucking, you know, generationally talented guy. He's great kid. Like what was it about Cordae that made you want to like really focus on him as a client?
Like once I already was working with all three of the guys.
Yeah.
He was focused. He wanted to be great. He wants to be great. He still does. But I'm saying, like, I noticed that from the very moment that I started working with Cordae, our conversations were different than what I was having with Jay and Amir, you know? And I mean, look, to like Jay and Amir's defense, like Namir never like wanted to be like a professional rapper.
Right.
Namir always made music, even when he was younger, but like he didn't have like that bug, you know, like that burning desire to be great.
He wanted to be famous.
He wanted to be famous. Yeah, he wanted to be famous. Yeah, actually, yeah. And he got famous, and then it was just like, he's like, what the fuck do I do now?
Right.
And everything was happening so fast. Namir always just wanted to be a kid. He just wanted to be famous while doing it.
Right.
The industry doesn't really allow you to do that.
Right.
Once you have a real demand, like it becomes a business.
Right.
So he struggled with that. Jay always just wanted to fuck bitches. So like,
and he successfully
once he
did
achieved
so.
that, once he was successful at that, it was hard to keep him focused. Cordae always was like, he would wake up and go to sleep just talking about like
rap music,
ideas, and like what's the next step, and like yo, I did this, I did that. I'm going to meet with this person. I was networking with this person today. This person hit me up. Yo, what do you think about this record? Everything was just music. So he was focused.
Was it his idea to do the J. Cole reply?
It was. We were living together at the time. He was living upstairs in my loft. He came downstairs one morning. I woke up. He came downstairs. And he's like, yo, I was thinking. Mind you, I never even heard the J. Cole.
1985, yeah.
Yeah, I never heard 1985. He came downstairs and was like, yo, you know the 1985 record by J. Cole? I'm like, that's on his new project? No, I ain't heard it. He's like, well, basically it's like, he's touching upon like how this new era of youth and rappers and kind of like what you would consider to be the SoundCloud era. He's like, my generation, how everyone's kind of lost and how a lot of the mistakes we're making, they're not going to last. You know, I feel like making a response for that on behalf of like my peers and my generation, the youth, explaining to him and even just those who represent that older generational mentality, like, this is why we do this. And why don't you look at it from our perspective? And I'm like, sounds dope.
Killed it.
But I never heard the original. So like, I'm just supporting him, like, go do it. When he came back and played me the record, I still never heard the J. Cole one. I was just like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah.
Like, the narration.
Without even knowing the
context, I was just like, the narration of it is bridging, like, this separation in this gap that was becoming, like, really, really obvious at that time, as you're well aware, between traditional rap.
Of course, yeah. That was like peak SoundCloud shit, and it was like,
yeah. And I mean, there wasn't even anybody who was doing real rap from the new school at the time. Nobody was making traditional hip hop.
For sure. Yeah, he was like, oh, wait, this kid's 18 and he's fucking rapping over Eminem.
Yeah. So I was like, that. All that collectively kind of was what made me really, really focus on Cordae, because I have a job to do. And quite frankly, like, people in my position, we empower those who allow us to do our job and who take their job seriously.
What is, like, for people who don't know what a manager does in a role like yourself, what is like your duties as a manager? Like, for people who are interested in maybe getting into the music industry or, you know.
I think that the job description itself has a few kind of unwavering core responsibilities for everybody, right? No matter what client you represent, because it does vary.
Right.
Every client needs different things and wants different things. But managing relationships, first and foremost.
Right.
You don't even have to like your manager. If you're doing your job as an artist and your manager is good at managing relationships, you guys can be extremely successful together. You know what I'm saying? Because as an artist, it's like, you're the centerpiece. Like, you're the engine of the vehicle. Like, what you do determines if it goes or not. Mm-hmm. If your manager is good at managing relationships, he's likable, he's dependable, he's charismatic.
Right.
He's genuine, he's friendly. He does good business by thinking about what the other party is getting out of every equation, not just what you guys are getting, so that people see him as fair. You guys can be great together.
Right.
That's first. Second, I think that your manager has to have, if you're managing this is the difference, right? If you're managing a rapper, it's different. If you're managing an artist, right, then I think that there has to be a vision attached to it, because there has to be a long-term goal, not just nearsighted accomplishments as the focus. When you think of rappers, right, and this isn't to discredit anybody, but this is just like, this is just a fact. There's country artists, pop artists, reggae artists, hip hop artists, right?
Right.
When they say rappers, it's kind of because like rap is the evolution of hip hop. It kind of created its own image, almost like its own genre. It's like it came kind of with the evolution of production, right? So, like not necessarily bass lines, but like 808s and synth pads and different things like that. And then the concepts and the subject matter of what rap talks about. Hip hop stems from like black and brown people coming from like inner cities in just places in America where your voices couldn't be heard. You didn't fit a certain political stature, economic stature. So through breakdancing and graffiti and song form, people would listen now.
DJing, parties.
People would listen now. But then rap is the evolution of that, where it's like it represents black and brown people who have now achieved those things that we didn't have now. Now you have wealth. Now you have money. Now you have a political stature. So it's like we can talk about different subject matters like cars and wealth and all these different glorified things we never used to. You see, rap's like the evolution of hip hop. So I feel like if you're managing rappers, the landscape of what that lifestyle entails, you can be in the clubs, like you can do features for money.
Set up bags. Try to set up some
bags, bro. Like in like, yo, motherfuckers getting rich out here, and I love that shit. That's what I love about how hip hop has evolved to rap. But in some of the other genres, the traditional genres of like hip hop, country, pop, reggae, R&B, whatever, there has to be kind of a more long-term goal that's attached to it, because those are not cash-out genres like rap has become. And that's why rap is so saturated, is because there's enough money in it to satisfy everybody.